So, I mentioned the new version, which was released yesterday a couple of times. And what is new? Well, the main new feature is a new check event log, or at least a new part of check event log. And the new thing is that you can actually write sensible filters instead of having to rely on some weird, arcane, obscure thing which you had to do before. So I think pretty much everyone in here could write event log filters now. I hope so, at least. There's also some stuff for register checking. There's a lot of improvements to the file checking subsystem and the various components for that. Is this Microsoft Wider working? I sometimes get the impression that it doesn't. Oh well. It does support multi-language performance counters and what do we have here? Yeah, volume support, improved command line support, and a pretty cool new helping thing for writing Visual Basic scripts, which OP5 helps out with. So thanks to them. There's also, of course, a lot of fixes and other stuff as well. And what's coming, the 04X version, which is the big thing which will come in the future, hopefully someday. It's been development for quite some time, but there is a lot of changes. And the main thing is that I'm rewriting the core using standard libraries like Boost and that kind of stuff, which hopefully will mean that everything will work, even if you have some sort of arcane, strange setup with 5 network cards where you're just using 2 of them paired in a sort of specific fashion that I never thought about. But we'll see. But hopefully that means that. It also means that it would run on Unix. And this might seem strange to everyone here, because there is already a bunch of things on Unix. But since no one is developing on Windows, I figured, well, if I move my code over to Unix, maybe some Unix developers could help me out, because it would really be nice to have some other developers out there to help me out. Then there is some a new settings subsystem, which means that you will be able to store your configuration in XML and a few more structured formats, and this will help in versioning and then that kind of stuff. Also, the filter API thing, I will try to make that be the way to specify warning and critical criteria instead of today using various options, because I think the natural language way is much more intuitive. So you would be able to do something like warn when any drive is about 90% or C drive is about 80%, instead of having some max warn, max critical, and a lot of options stacking up. It will have, better .NET and better customization support. And sorry, one thing which I think is very, very important and one of the keystones of the future of network monitoring, or at least monitoring, is complex event processing. And what complex event processing is, it really means that instead of saying, yeah, the CPU is at 80%, that's bad, what you should say is, because if the CPU is at 80% and you have 5 million transactions running through your system, that's just super, because it means you have actually gotten money for your hardware instead of just buying a big computer which no one uses. But if the CPU load is at 80% and you just have 2 transactions, that is very bad, because all of a sudden your computer is working but not producing any business or any money for the business. So I think the need to classify behaviors and connect them together to form the coherent picture is really something that is needed. And this could easily be done in some sort of filtering engine at the lower level, instead of trying to have an administrator look at various reds and greens or correlate graphs and that kind of stuff. So if anyone is interested in it, let me know, because this is something I will try to do during fall, and it would be interesting to get some sort of real-world feedback into this loop.